Hello, so creative, it's Faustina here. So along with me, let's recreate this luxury and stylish bubu gown that you are seeing on the screen. So this is the outcome of mine. So if it's something that you would like to watch how I recreated the bubu gown, please keep watching and let's move on to our cutting table. So I recreated mine with 3 yards of fabric which I regretted. So if you want to recreate yours, you can go ahead and use 4 to 5 yards of liquid Mikado. So I went ahead to fold that my 3 yards into 4 equal halves because we are cutting both the front and the back together. So on our starting point, I'm marking out the neck of our bubu gown and also the shoulder, which I also extend the shoulder because it's a cut together bubu gown by 15 inches because the sleeve is big, because we are going to add elastic on the sleeve part. So from our extended sleeve, I came down by 1 inch for our shoulder slope, which I connected back to our neck width like so. So from our shoulder slope, I came down by 15 inches. Like I said, this bubu gown is a very massive one. We added elastic on the sleeve, so I came down by 15 inches so that we can have excess that we can draw when putting our elastic. So I went ahead to impute my hip divide by 4 plus extra 11 inches allowance by the side like so, and I will now extend that line all the way to the hem part of our gown. So the 11 inches is both for our ease and sewing allowance. For our sewing allowance, I'm going to sew by 1 inch, while the ease allowance is 10 inches. So I'm trying to extend the line all the way to the hem part of our beautiful bubu gown, and after extending it, I will add half inch joining allowance at the shoulder. So I'm trying to curve that sleeve area so that I will know which side is my sleeve. If you watch closely, you can see that the sleeve is almost with the body measurement. So I'm trying to curve it small so I will know which side is my sleeve. And for the shoulder, I'm trying to add half-inch joining allowance on the shoulder. And for the neck, I came down by 1 inch for the back neck depth. And after cutting, we are going to separate the front from the back, and we now alter the front neck depth. So I'm trying to cut out all our marks line. So after cutting it, we are going to separate the front from the back, and we will now start working on the front. So the front is the part that has most of the design. So for the length of this particular design, you have to add extra 6 to 7 inches to your normal gown length, like your normal gown length that flows on the floor. So you have to add extra 5 to 6 inches to the length because of the front. The front, we are going to plant the center front. We are going to plant it, so that planting will make our fabric to go up. So if you add that 5 to 6 inches length, even if your fabric goes up, your material will still be, the length of the gown will still be normal. So this is where my own 3 yards came to play. It wasn't enough, so after planting the length, I observed that the gown went up instead of, and it alters the length of our gown, which I wasn't happy after sewing it. So this is how we alter the neck. I went ahead to mark out our v-neck and also came down by 27 inches for that front planting. So for the front planting, we are going to add a kind of lapel on that center front, and the lapel will be 3 inches wide. So after coming down by 27 inches from the shoulder, I now mark from the center front 1 inch to go and meet my v-neck like so. So that 1 inch, half inch will serve for our sewing of that front lapel. So the lapel is 3 inches wide, while I remove 2 inches from our main fabric. So after cutting it, we are going to go ahead and open it up like so, so that you see what I'm trying to say. So this is it. After opening it up, we will start planting. We are not going to plant that v-neck area. We just, after the v-neck, we now start planting the fabric. So this is it. This planting will make your the length of your back fabric to shorten. So that was why I asked you should add like extra 5 to 6 inches allowance to the length of your fabric, so that after planting this, even if your fabric goes up, it will not alter the length of your gown. So we make mistakes so that you will learn from our mistake. So I went ahead to plant the center front like so. So I planted on the both side like so. So I keep on planting so that I can get that side dropping very well. And because our length of the length of this my fabric was not enough, that was why the center front planting was not that massive. Had it been I have enough fabric to cover for the length, I would have extended the center front by like 30 inches, so that my planting will have enough volume, 30 to 35 inches, so that after planting, my side dropping will come down very well. I don't know, it will come down very well. So it's because of the lack of fabric I have to manage what I have. But if you want to replicate this design, I will advise you come down from your shoulder to the center front where you will add your planting, come down to 35 inches, so that after planting it, you will have a very massive dropping by the side. So this is it. If at all I will recreate this design, these are all my observation. So after planting, I went ahead to sew down my planting, and I now introduce the back, and I'm going to join them by the shoulder, the tutu shoulder, by half an inch, before we now start adding our front lapel. So after joining by half an inch, this is it. I went ahead to notch the center of our back like so, and we are going to measure from the center of our back to where our center front opening is, so that we can go ahead and start our front lapel. So you will also go ahead and measure from the center back to our V, where our V opening will be, and we are going to keep all those numbers aside. So I've gone ahead to cut out our front lapel. So the width of the front lapel is 4 inches, while the length is times 2 of the value that we got after measuring the center opening. So I'm going to fold it into 2, and I'm going to measure from my center back to our front V neck opening, and I'm going to input the value like so. So from our center back to our V neck opening was 13. I'm going to rule out the 13 like so, and after which I will now start marking out the center of our front, our lapel like so, the center of the fabric, which is 2 inches. So I'm going to now go ahead and run a stitch on that line that I drew like so. So I've gone ahead to run a stitch on it. I'm going to open it up like so. So this is what we have after sewing it, and I will quickly move over to my ironing table and go and iron it flat before we now start fixing it on our main gown. So let me go and iron it flat. So I've gone ahead to iron it flat, and this is the outcome. You see how relaxed and neat it's looking. So I just go ahead and notch the center of our beautiful lapel, and we now introduce our main fabric, and we now start fixing it. So we are going to start from the center of the lapel to go and match the center of the back like so, and we are going to pin it down, after which we now proceed the matching to one side of our center front opening like so. So I'm going to use my pin to match it all the way to the end part of the opening, and after which I will now move over to my sewing machine and go and run a stitch on it before we now flip the lapel to the other side and also sew it as well. For the end part of our neck, you can see that is like a U. So how do you conquer that side? When you reach that side, you are going to sew 0.25 away from the U. Like below the U, you are going to sew 0.25, and after which you are going to flip the lapel to the other side and also sew the same thing before you will now tuck in the remaining fabric inside and now sew from the wrong side of our fabric. So I've gone ahead to stitch it. You can see the outcome is looking so beautiful and neat. So this is the outcome that you will have when you also stitch your own. So I quickly move over to my sewing machine and go and add elastic on the sleeve part, both the two side of our beautiful gown. So I'm going to add elastic on it, and after which we will now proceed in closing the side of our beautiful bubu gown. So I quickly move over to my sewing machine now so that I can go ahead and run the stitch on the tutu side. So I've gone ahead and run the stitch on the sleeve. So after adding your elastic, we now proceed in closing our tutu side of our bubu gown by 1 inch. So I'm basically going to use my tailor's chalk to mark out one inch from my bust to my waist to my hip and to the hem part of our beautiful gown. So this is how you close it up. You mark out the round sleeve of your sleeve, and after getting the round sleeve of your sleeve, you are going to now start marking out one inches on the side. So we are going to do it on the two both side. So this is the end part of our tutorial. So if you have watched to this point, thanks for watching, and also if in any way you find this tutorial helpful, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.